Hello, everyone. This is the latest world news in America. If you're interested, I'd appreciate your likes and subscriptions. Good afternoon, dear fans of interesting weapons. You are on the wave of the channel World News with you, its host and author Michael, and in today's edition, I will tell you what is the genius of the miracle weapon earth farming, which helps Russia to hold back the powerful onslaught of the enemy. From you I can only ask for likes and subscriptions to my channel. Let's get 1,000 thumbs up because it really helps me to release videos as often as I can. It seems to me that the supply of cluster munitions to the USA is just a desperate, almost hysterical, attempt to oppose something to the very complex land farming, which turns any Western armored vehicle into scrap metal. The name itself, of course, was chosen quite wittily, as well as many other Russian weapons systems, and further you will see why. In short, Zemlyadelye is a system of remote mines, RMS. It sounds dry and boring, but the idea is simply brilliant. Virtually every other weapon, tanks, missiles, howitzers, etc., are designed to destroy the enemy in the current moment. That is, shot at the target, hit the target. Farming, on the other hand, operates differently. It is created to hit the enemy in the future, at a time when he doesn't expect it at all. It does this by using landmines. Yes, mines are a thing that ordinary people do not pay much attention to. Everyone is interested in tanks, fighters, missiles, that's where the power is. But in the meantime, it is the minefields that largely determine the situation on the battlefield. But these minefields can be set in different ways. Initially they were set manually. That is, sappers walked along the field and laid mines in the ground. The method is very slow, labor-intensive and dangerous for the sappers themselves, who became targets. Then armies started to use special equipment for mine laying. Something like tractors that drove around the field and spread the charges. Yes, the speed and efficiency increased many times, but the disadvantages remained the same. A. The enemy could see where the mines were being mined. B. The enemy could destroy the mined equipment. Earth mining is a system that lacks all of these disadvantages. It is capable of setting minefields remotely, that is, at a distance of up to 15 kilometers from itself. For this purpose, it uses installations somewhat similar to the Grad MLRS, well, or Katyusha, which is more familiar to us from Soviet movies. One Zemlyadelye has 2 blocks of 25 missiles in each, see the picture above. However, these missiles, as said, are not designed to directly hit the enemy. Inside each 3-meter rocket there is a cassette with mines, i.e. these munitions can also be called cluster munitions. The missile flies to a given area and scatters mines in the right places. And the accuracy is amazing. Satellite navigation is used. Minefields can be created in any configuration, even the most complex. That is the most unpredictable way, taking into account the peculiarities of the terrain, etc. But most importantly, the system can produce mines. A. Over a wide area, up to several hectares per volley. B. Very quickly. B. Quite invisible to the enemy. I think you have already guessed the insidiousness of these 3 features. Let's assume that the enemy is advancing on tanks, APCs and other vehicles. He has a minefield ahead of him and he knows it. Naturally, sappers and demining vehicles go ahead and create a passageway in the minefield. At this point the opponents do not touch them, allowing them to go deeper inside the minefield. And when the enemy vehicles are inside this trap, they are fired on from all barrels, aviation, artillery, MLRS, ATGMs, etc. Then the enemy does not have many options. Either accelerate forward and get blown up or move to the side and get blown up. Or stay in place and become a perfect target in a shooting gallery. Or retreat backwards. Yes, at first they try the first, second and third options, but sooner or later it comes to the fourth. And here they are, full of confidence that the passage behind them has been cleared, they themselves have passed there not so long ago, and they rush back. But here's the problem. While they were fighting inside the minefield, the farming system had already worked in their rear. And literally slammed the lid on the mousetrap. Thus, the passage cleared by the enemy in the minefield was again mined, and there was simply no safe escape route left. As a result, pictures from a pile of undermined equipment and the collapse of the shares of arms companies. Of course, farming can be used in other ways. For example, enemy vehicles are rushing forward, absolutely sure that there is no minefield ahead. But then a couple of volleys of earthmaking and the world does not seem so benevolent anymore. You need to either stop or look for ways around or move away. In any case, any advance of any technique can be slowed. By the way, no one promised that when you bypass the first field, the second field will not suddenly appear in front of you. Zimledali can also throw anti-personnel mines. For example, the POM-2 edema. It's also a very tricky thing. It descends to the ground on a small parachute and scatters around itself 4 thin capron threads 10 meters long each. So you don't even have to step on the mine. It is enough to touch any of the strings to activate the explosive mechanism and get a powerful stream of hundreds and thousands of steel balls, shrapnel. One rocket earthmaking is capable of setting 5 such mines. And all 50 missiles of one salvo 250 such mines. Enough to create a solid barrier over an area of several soccer fields. But if this is also a cluster munition, why are we so indignant at the actions of the United States? The fact is that Earthmine does not simply scatter unguided and uncontrolled projectiles over the terrain, as a classic cluster munition does. Each mine in the Zemlyadelia is equipped with a self-destruct mechanism. For example, the above-described POM-2 swelling is programmed to self-destruct after a time from 4 to 100 hours. That is, if the mine is never hit, it will self-destruct, and there will be no danger for future land use. Therefore, the classic cluster munition is only a pathetic and very distant likeness of the landmine system. Firstly, it is not designed for mining. Mining is just a side effect, and secondly, after its use, the territory remains dangerous for many years. That's it for now. The video was pretty concise. And then I see a huge space for discussion, the place for this, as always, in the comments to this issue. Lastly, I ask you to subscribe to my channel. I'll be glad to have you here in new videos on my YouTube channel. All the best to you and see you soon.